What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mufasi Car Reviews. Today, the car that we will be looking at is the 2007 to 2013 third generation GMC Sierra 1500. Alright, let's get right into it. Number 1 is the dashboard. The dashboard is made out of a cheap plastic and has been known to severely crack in several locations. If you want to go about replacing this, then you're looking at an out-of-pocket expense totaling over $1,700. Number 2 is the exterior trim. The trim pieces around the car fall off easily and people complain how often they need to have a new one installed. One customer mentioned how they've gone into the dealership 8 times for this. Besides that, the tailgate latch and door latches are made out of a cheap plastic and either snap and break or fall off and need to be replaced. Having to go through and replace multiple pieces can easily add up to $250. Number 3 is the 4-wheel drive selector switch. Many people mention how their truck likes to stay in 4-wheel drive mode, even after switching to 2-wheel drive. Also, the service 4-wheel drive dashboard light is known to turn on, leaving customers unable to use their 4-wheel drive. This light typically means that the transfer case motor position sensor or 4-wheel drive selector switch have failed and need to be replaced. Thankfully, the price to fix either problem isn't too bad, coming in at $250. Number 4 is a good one, but first, make sure to like and subscribe. Number 4 is the fuel pump. Customers complain of the truck randomly going into limp mode while traveling down the road. It's been documented to be an extremely faulty part, also causing the vehicle to randomly not start and needs to be replaced quite often. Most people had to have theirs swapped out every 40,000 miles for an average cost of $1,200. Number 5 is the annoying vibrations. Some people say that this happens between 40 and 45 miles per hour, and others say that it occurs between 60 and 70 miles per hour. Since GM wouldn't fix this problem, one customer took it to have a laser frame inspection completed. They found that the rear axle was mounted slightly crooked, and 8 different areas around the frame were off spec. Unfortunately, all of the shops said that they would not be able to fix this, leaving them stuck with a permanent vibration and a potential safety hazard. Number 6 is the throttle position sensor. If you're driving one of these Sierras and all of a sudden you notice a check engine light paired along with a reduced power message, then you can almost be certain that it's your throttle position sensor. There have been many complaints about the reliability of this sensor and the wiring surrounding it. If you're lucky, you'll be able to get away with just replacing the throttle position sensor for about $325. Number 7 is the infotainment screen. Another common problem that these Silverado owners encountered had to do with the infotainment screen, which has been reported to become glitchy and eventually stop working every few years, requiring the entire unit to be replaced, coming in at a total cost of about $1,000 for this generation. Number 8 is the 12-volt battery. A number of drivers have said that the battery in their Sierra dies frequently. The reason that this happens isn't entirely known, but some educated guesses have been traced to faulty parts like the fuel pump as well as loose grounds found throughout the car. Sierra owners can expect to replace their battery as soon as every 2 years for an average cost of about $250. Number 9 is the transmission. Most people say that there's an annoying banging sound when going into third gear, while others said that it doesn't shift very well in general and often doesn't want to shift quick enough, or that it downshifts when it shouldn't and makes for a jerky ride. According to reviews, you can expect to have to replace the transmission as soon as every 50 to 80,000 miles for an average cost of $5,600. Number 10 is the 5.3 liter engine. The 5.3 liter V8 engine has a handful of common problems that most people will run into, starting with their excessive oil consumption. It's been reported that you can expect this engine to use as much as 4 quarts of oil for every 2,000 miles. Other problems include the pressure switch going bad, costing $900 to repair. Many reviews mention how a flat spot on the crankcase shows up, requiring a lower engine rebuild. Another costly problem is how the engine heads begin to crack. Also, the active fuel lifters become stuck and the push rods begin to bend, which requires a partial engine rebuild and as early as every 40,000 miles, which will set you back over $5,000. However, some say that they've needed a completely new engine when this happens and costs them over $11,000. Let's say that each of those problems occurred one time during the 5-year time span. That totals out to be nearly $22,000. Hopefully this information helps you better decide whether or not this car is the right investment for you. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.